Hello again, and welcome back. Let's get started on the microscope. So I'm going to share my screen and walk you through pretty quickly what you need to do. And we're going to share this. So now you should be able to see my screen. Let's go to the home page. So here's your home page. Ignore the dates and stuff. This is, for the semester that I'm currently in. Those will be different as semesters go on. But we are going to go right to laboratory. We're going to get started on the microscope. Remember, have patience as things open. And just a reminder, if you haven't done this yet, but here is your lab manual in PDF format. It's you can download it, you can keep it on your computer, you can edit it, but you can refer to it. We're going to go ahead. I've already opened that up so that I didn't have to wait for it to download. It should be here. All right, so this is what you should see when you open up your lab manual. And we're going to scroll down. Let's look at the table of contents. What page is the microscope on? Page 9. So we are going to head down to page 9, and here's the microscope. So for this online class, okay, you are not going to be doing the lab in person. Obviously, you're going to be doing it at home. The lab manual is written for the in-person experience. So you don't need to worry about the materials because those are things that students would be using in the classroom. You need to worry about your own materials that are on your material list here, okay, that you'll need for some labs, okay? For microscope, you don't actually need any materials, okay? So let's look at the directions, because on all the directions, I put what materials are needed for each lab individually. And so once this loads, you'll see that the only thing that you need to do the microscope is a computer, okay? Yeah, okay. So to complete this lab, you will be using 3 microscope simulations, and we will refer to them here. Now, yes, okay. So that's the stereoscope and the other NCIOB. Okay, so we're good there. So you can click these links from here, okay, as you go through the different activities. You can download this by clicking this button, download, okay, so if you want to have that available to you. But if you go back, I like to use the pathway to navigate backwards as opposed to going to home and then to laboratory and then to the lab I want. I like to just click up here in the top. I think it's a little bit faster. So you're basically just going to use the lab manual for background information. So you're going to read. You're going to read the introduction, and you're going to use these images because they all correlate. Okay, so for at least for this lab, everything correlates to the different activities that are in your lab folder on Brightspace. So here's your pictures. You need both pictures to fill these out. I like to, if it were me, I would download this portion of the lab. I mean, I would just download the whole lab book, but then I would answer this, okay? Write it down so that when I go to enter my questions in the activities, I have them, they're ready to go. Then here's the stereoscope, different microscope used for different purpose. You're going to read and learn all about that. And then here you're going to use this. These are the parts of the microscope. These descriptions will help you figure out where your labels go. And then again, anywhere that you see text, you should read it, okay? Just as you're reading, bear in mind, you're doing this virtually. You're not doing it in the classroom, okay? But for this lab, again, we're going to follow right along all of these activities. They're the same, you're just using a virtual scope. Okay, so for this part where normally you would draw, here you're going to enter an image. So let's just take a look at the parts. Now, every time every activity you need to complete, you'll click this and then it will open and you'll just answer those questions. Now, what I like to do when I have a link that I need to access, that I need to use for my assignment or activity, in this case, I like to right click it and then ask it to open in a new tab. That way it's up, okay? And you're just gonna kind of poke around in here once this loads and get acquainted with how we use the virtual microscope, okay? So there are all these different options. Yep, guide tip. All these different options that we can use. I don't think I can see the bottom because I'm sharing my screen. Let's see if I can move this. Okay, we need to, okay, we're gonna pause. Let's see. Okay, sorry about that. I figured it out. Thank you for your patience. My screen was zoomed out. Of course, now the toolbar is in the way. Yeah, we gotta move this up. Okay, so if you can see down here, you're gonna click on all these things. Okay, this is going to walk you through how the virtual microscope works. It's gonna point out the objective lenses, the different pieces, all these different things. Okay. Then you can go down here to learn. You can learn about the pieces. There's some, every question mark will tell you new things. It will help you with identifying the pieces. It might give you some of the answers to the activities. And then we'll go back to main. Okay. And down here, explore. Okay. So we can say, let's throw on some plant slides. You're going to use one of these. Let's look at plant cells. And it's going to put it on there. Now you can see you can't really see anything. So we need to focus. So you just kind of click around. See how it's a little bit clearer, right? We'll get it a little bit clearer with the course. And then we'll get it more clear with the fine focus. I'm going to turn my light up and decide, can I see better or worse? Okay. On the low objective, I notice that I can see pretty clearly without increasing my light. But as I go up in power, I got to turn it up a little bit to see things as clearly. Now, once you go up in power, you only need to mess with your fine focus. You don't really need to mess with your coarse focus. If you do, you know, it can get a little gritty. Anyway, that's how you change the slides around. We'll go back to here, remove slide. Now we can put a new slide on, all these different slides. Okay, you can mess around with that. Then you can test yourself, and on some of these you will. Let's go to test. And you can just answer these questions. Okay. Read the question, answer it, and then you go to the next question. So you're going to use this microscope to do your activities, and your activities will say, you know, pick out the onion root tip and take a picture. You're going to do a screenshot, for example, of the letter E. So that's what you're doing there. Then let's go back to your activities. And we're going to use another microscope, the stereoscopic dissecting microscope. So we're going to right click, open link in a new tab. And we're going to use this thing. It takes a second to load. But you can pick, again, all sorts of different options. It's for looking at things that you can see with the naked eye, as opposed to things that you need a microscope slide for. And so you can change the focus, change the light intensity, and you can zoom in and you can zoom out. So that is looking at a circuit board, all right? And the activities will walk you through which one I want you to look at, what, if anything, you need to take a picture of. And then, of course, there's some reading here just to learn a little bit about the stereoscope. So those are the two scopes you are using. You are using the background information from your book to complete all 9 activities. Now, all 9 activities have to be completed. If you don't complete one of them, it reads as a 0, and that will lower your overall score for the microscope lab. So that is your first lab. And of course, if you have any questions, always check in with me. Okay. Thanks very much, guys. And we will see you on the next video.